Hi, Warren Buffett.
Hi, Bill Gates.
I have a problem, Warren.
What's that, Bill?
Well, I need a thing.
What kind of thing, Bill?
A signature thing I carry around with me.
Like a syringe loaded with vaccine.
That's a little clumsy, although I am saving Africa through medical intervention.
I heard Angelina Jolie and Madonna say they're saving Africa.
They're mistaken, Warren. I'm saving Africa. I need a thing like your thing.
What thing is that, Bill?
Your ice cream cone. It defines you. It's so simple.
You know, Bill, the ice cream cone I carry around with me has to be ready to flash at any moment. So it's not real. It's made entirely out of plastic. The cone and the ice cream are vinyl. I keep it in my pocket.
See? That's what I mean. It's perfect. I want to appear more folksy and down to earth, like you.
You don't want to look like Donald Duck or Howdy Doody or Alfred E. Newman.
No, I don't like those images.
Maybe you need a straw hat that's torn at the edges. A farmer's hat. And you could keep a straw in your mouth and chew on it.
Yeah, maybe. But then see, I also have to be high-tech. Because that's my job. I'm Mr. Technocrat. That's how I'm saving Africa, with technology. Drugs, vaccines. I'm also saving education. I have this gizmo a student puts on his wrist, and it tells how hard he's concentrating in class.
That gizmo sounds useless to me, Bill.
Of course it is. But it looks good. What do you have that looks good, Warren?
$60 billion.
Me too. It's nice.
It's nice.
I need something that really looks good in Africa.
How about cleaning up the contaminated water supplies of countries, Bill?
Yeah, that would be fine. But it's so low-tech. It doesn't have any zing. I have this really great idea. I could put a dome over all of Africa, and then people could live indoors.
Like in one of those football stadiums, only a lot bigger.
Right. And I'd install air conditioning.
Over the whole continent.
That's it. Yes. Under the dome. The dome over all of Africa.
The dome and the air conditioning could get pretty expensive.
Very expensive, Warren. But think of the publicity. And I would really be known as Mr. Technocrat then.
But you want a down-home folksy image too.
Yeah. You've got that image and it really works for you.
Here's the thing, Bill. Sometimes I'm not really talking. I have a Wi-Fi connection and a mechanical voice talks for me. It gets just the right accent and cadence.
Sure. I know that.
And I don't really know much about investments. Other people pick them out for me. But let's get back to Africa.
To build the dome over the whole continent, we'd have to take out all the grass and put in AstroTurf.
What about all the animals, Bill?
I thought of shipping them to Palo Alto, but that might be impractical. We'd probably have to kill them.
And what would you do with the meat, Bill?
Grind it up into one huge burger and store it in a freezer. We could feed all the people of Africa.
You mean it's all combined and ground up? Zebra, lion, antelope, crocodile, snake.
That's right.
You might need some good seasoning. I almost bought a seasoning company once. Anyway, this whole Africa project sounds pricey. Are you coming to me for investment money?
Yes, I am, Warren.
Well, I know a guy.
You do?
I met him once. He looks like a cross between a porcupine and an alligator in a 1953 Cadillac. He owns the people who own the Rockefellers.
Wow.
He could put in the money and also build the whole thing for you.
See, then when it's done, I could show up in my straw farmer's hat chewing a straw and look like a down-home guy at the ribbon-cutting ceremony.
I also know a guy who could make a ribbon that would stretch across all of Africa. He owns a shop in Omaha. He and I play checkers on Tuesday nights.
I'm just a friend of Africa. See? I'm just a regular guy who is a friend of Africa. That fits too. I could have a little dirt under my fingernails. Of course, I'd still bring in tons of vaccines. I'd have the vaccines automatically spray down through vents in the dome that covers Africa.
I heard that when you give vaccines to people whose immune systems are weak, you can do a lot of damage to them.
That's interesting. Anyway, can you see me at the ribbon-cutting ceremony wearing a straw hat and chewing on that straw?
I think it works, Bill. Your new image.
Once we have a dome over all of Africa, we can go to the next phase.
What's that, Bill?
We have to depopulate the planet, Warren, because there are just too many people. And when you have all of Africa under a dome, It's much easier to do that. We can start the depopulation in Africa. We can fund studies on how to slowly lower the birth rate. That kind of thing.
You've really thought all this out, Bill.
I'm a humanitarian. Everything flows from that.
That's what Bill Clinton told me. He said you were a humanitarian.
He's looking for grant money. He has a new foundation for cheerleaders. Something about a competition in Las Vegas. He'll be the chief judge.
Let me ask you this, Bill. What do you do about the weather under the dome? What kind of weather do you have?
It's a steady 72. Most of the people will live in cities. We get rid of everything that's in Africa now and just make it all flat. The whole continent is flat. And then we build cities that are like beehives. But most of Africa will be empty. We project virtual animals in that empty territory. And some of the animals talk. They say, "Wear a condom."
They say it in different languages.
I guess so. And I'm one of those virtual animals too. This is another part of my new image.
What animal will you be, Bill?
What do you think, Warren?
Well, let's see. You are making Africa into an indoor depopulation amusement park, right?
Right.
So what animal would fit with that? How about inventing an animal that looks like Henry Kissinger? He's in favor of depopulation.
Henry's too ugly. I want a good-looking image for myself.
Attila the Hun. He depopulated a lot of people.
Too nasty.
Around where I live, we have a lot of cute squirrels. You could be a Disney-type squirrel.
Too small. A squirrel's cheeks puff out. I don't like puffy cheeks.
I would just go with the likeness of yourself, but with 4 legs. A young sleek lion with your face.
Wow. I think that might work, Warren.
And, as this lion, would you be talking to Africans?
Sure. I'd be singing traditional African songs and talking. I'd be saying, "Don't get pregnant. Don't get pregnant."
You need to make the lion smile and seem relaxed.
A friendly lion wearing a farmer's straw hat and chewing on a straw, dispensing friendly advice. There would be thousands of Bill Gates virtual lions in the new Africa. That's wonderful.
How do you keep the AstroTurf clean, Bill?
Giant vacuum cleaners. Through our foundation, Melinda and I are giving a grant for the design of a vacuum cleaner. It'll be the size of a football field and travel at 60 miles an hour.
Does it make a lot of noise?
You need earplugs if you're within 5 miles of it.
You have a big vision, Bill.
You know, some researchers at the Rockefeller Foundation say they can insert genes in vaccines. The genes make men sterile. It's not painful. So you get a declining birth rate. It happens gradually. People might not like that, so we'll need to float stories about why the birth rate is declining.
You could say it's from the improved standard of living under the dome.
That's right. Studies show that when the standard of living improves, people feel less need to have children.
A friend of mine who has an ice cream shop here in town is the cousin who makes hats. I could have him send you some farmer's straw hats.
That's nice of you, Warren. I appreciate that.
Will there be drones in the new Africa under the dome?
Sure. They're developing these new maple seed drones. They're tiny. You can unleash 10,000 at a time. They have tiny cameras that record everything. We need about 1 billion drones for all of Africa, to make sure nothing's breaking down in the machinery. And to record everything that goes on, for posterity.
I know a guy who bottles and sells honey here in town. His brother is a beekeeper.
Yes.
Nothing. I know a lot of guys.
But enough about me, Warren. How are you doing these days?
I know a guy.
You just said that.
I know a guy who knows a guy.
I'm speaking at a conference next week.
I know a guy.
I'm speaking at a conference next week.
I know a guy.
I'm speaking at a conference next week.